Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the Lakers lost 130 to 116 at Staples Center to the Utah Jazz, and well, of course, it's Crypto.com now, but you get the point. Um, that game was defensive. It was a defensive issue there. That's really what I can say. We had a defensive problem tonight. It's in the first half. The issues began with us just not matching up properly, in my opinion. In the second half, it continued more so with them just running us rampant. I said in the pregame video that I wanted to see us run their shooters, um, because shooters having weaker legs often lend itself to having missed shots, but that was not the case tonight. Utah Jazz shot phenomenally well from just about every angle there was, every place on the floor they hit. So that's pretty much why the score was so high. 130 points is a heck of a lot of points to give up. Lakers had given up 73 points in the first half. It's just one of those situations where we pride ourselves on being a pretty good defensive team, but if I'm being completely honest, Utah just threw a lot at us. I just look at that team as a team that has a lot of young talent that comes together. Danny Ainge just put together a really good team. What can I say? For what it is he was trying to do in the rebuild, this team is a competitor. They have shooting, they have defenders, they have young talent, they have athletes, they have length for rim protection. They just have all the elements of basketball that you want, and they're going to be a very, very dangerous franchise as they start to build some of these lottery pieces that are going to be coming in with these picks that they're getting, regardless if they get Wembanyama or not. We can clearly see Utah is going to be a problem. You add a star to this, you add a superstar to this, and or a couple lottery star talent players to this mix, and they're going to be a problem for sure. So that's what I saw right there. Just a bunch of players who've been waiting for opportunities to get big minutes, finally getting those minutes. Lauri Markkanen was fantastic tonight. Played like an all-star, big on the rebounds, big on the points. I think he had like 28 points, something of that nature. Bunch of three-point shots. Kelly Olynyk made his presence felt. Jordan Clarkson was phenomenal. You got to give credit to Mike Conley with 10 assists out there. They just took it to the Los Angeles Lakers. Everybody was shooting well. We weren't able to take advantage of Malik Beasley having an off night. He was 1 for 7, but it didn't matter. They did not have any issues. THT came in, had a really nice plus minus. It was just all about the Utah Jazz. I would love to say the Lakers didn't do this or the Lakers didn't do that. We had defensive issues, but it wasn't like we played particularly poorly. I mean, we scored 116 points. Clearly, that's enough to win a lot of nights. But when you can't guard the perimeter and you give up as many points in the paint as we did, you're just not going to have any success. They just got a lot of buckets on the Los Angeles Lakers tonight. That's what it really came down to. They were hitting a lot of shots. I need more out of Austin Reeves. I just didn't get enough out of him with the playing time that he got. I know that he made his presence felt. He hit a 3 out there. He did some good things, but I just need more. I know what he can do, and he needs to do more on a night like tonight. Patrick Beverley surprisingly had a good plus minus, but we just can't get any scoring out of him. It's one of those situations where everything he does is defensive, and on the offensive end, it's almost 4-on-5. He gets the ball, he can't really score over anybody. Can't really drive into the rim. He doesn't trust his 3. So it's kind of a tough situation because it's kind of hard for guys to play off of him offensively, I think, in a way. It's like it's hard to have production on the floor when he's as non-productive as he is offensively, but he really does do a lot for you on the defensive side. He's a pleasure to watch, chasing people around and just making the right reads and things of that nature. So we just got to find a way to score while he's on the floor. I think that's what it really came down to. We just have a hard time scoring with him down there. Lonnie Walker was really good, man. I like what I saw from Lonnie, hitting shots. Of course, there was a missed 3 that he could have hit down the stretch of the game that kind of just almost airballed. But, he's not a shooter. But when the 3 falls, it falls. But everything he was doing tonight was just been a continuation of what he's been doing for our team. Just electrifying the crowd with dunks and just slashing to the paint and just doing all the things that we like to see him do. So I've really enjoyed seeing Lonnie out there. Troy Brown, also, he had a pretty good game. Didn't shoot as well as he had been, but he definitely helped us shooting the ball. I need to see him rebound the ball like he did in the last game, though. We had 10 rebounds from him in the previous game. He only walked out of there with 2 tonight. We can't have that. When he gets down there, we need him to rebound that ball. Wenyen Gabriel gave us some really good minutes in the first half, and we kind of got away from him in the second half. I didn't check to see if he got in foul trouble, but, it's just one of those things we got to do what works for us. I thought we had some issues down there with matchups in the first half, as I had mentioned in the pregame video or in the halftime reaction video. And, I just think that that's really where we got off to a bad start. We got to know our opponent. You know what I mean? We got to put ourselves in positions to guard the perimeter when we know we're going up against an elite three-point shooting team. And I just didn't think we did a good enough job of strategizing ourselves for what it is that we were going to be seeing tonight. And as a result, they caught us off guard. LeBron James did not have his greatest night tonight. He's having a really rough time. The foot also is now going to be a thing. He had some type of foot issue that's been lingering, and he re-aggravated it in the fourth quarter tonight. So it was just all around struggle night for LeBron James. Bad shooting for his standards. Had some defensive stats here and there, but for the majority of the night, I really thought he was struggling, for his standards. He really struggled, and it hurt the team at times. I thought we were going to him a little more than we should have in certain situations, and I thought we were getting away from AD and Westbrook a little more than we should have in situations. Westbrook was fantastic tonight. He had 28 points. He was only a -1. That's one of the best plus minuses on the team tonight in a loss like this. And he was just doing everything we needed him to do. He was hitting 3-point shots, rebounding the ball. Even defensively, he was doing it all. Getting to the lane, hitting his free throws. I mean, the man was fantastic. And what can you say? This was the Hall of Famer Russell Westbrook that people were excited about having come to the Lakers. If he would have been able to find himself in a role like this from the beginning, we would have had a much different dynamic with him as a part of our team. But now that we're in this position, we're happy to be here. However we got here, we're happy to be here. He looks like the Russell Westbrook that we remember from OKC. A guy that was able to get the ball to guys, make guys better, get to his spot, hit his shot, play with confidence, and just be a nightmare rebounding the ball and pushing the pace. That's what he did tonight. Seems like every game I'm saying Russell Westbrook's having one of the best games he's had as a Laker. But tonight I think he set a new benchmark, especially for scoring the basketball. 28 points. That's the Russell Westbrook we've been waiting to see. So even though this wasn't a win tonight, I look at this game as a very much of a plus for our team as it pertains to just certain things that you want to see out of certain players. Russell Westbrook is continuing to raise his value, and we're happy, man. Laker fans are very happy with him, so I don't think he should hang his head by any stretch of the imagination. He was not a part of the problem tonight, and I think the problem was we didn't go to him enough down the stretch. We didn't go to him enough in the key moments, and he really had it going. So I thought that was Darvin. That was on Darvin to try to lean on Russell when he's playing like a superstar, because at the end of the day, he's still himself, and when he steps into it, it's not like it's a fluke, So I'm excited about the role coming off the bench, the efficiency, the confidence, the synergy with some of the other guys. It's going well, man. It's really going well. And I thought some of the mistakes had been cut down too. I think he had a couple turnovers, but nothing too serious. A few of the fumbling type of things fell in his favor. It was like they didn't go bad, some of those situations. So it's very good to see him playing well, and I just want to see him continue to do so. AD played well as well. I like what I saw from AD. I thought we got away from him a little more than we needed to. I thought defensively he didn't have his greatest night, but all in all, when you're asked to guard guys that are floating around between the perimeter and in the interior, and then you're asked to do a lot on the offensive end as well, it can be a lot. But all in all, I thought AD played a pretty solid game for his standards, and I just wish we could have went to him a little more. So this is one of those games where you're like, all right, are we upset about this game really? I mean, yeah, you want to win games, but I don't think the Lakers played particularly horribly from the offensive side of the ball. We shot pretty well. I thought we kept our 3-point shots down. In fact, we probably wanted to tempo a few more for the way we were shooting it. I think we only shot like 23 of them or something of that nature. So I felt the Lakers did a good job with that. And again, in the interior, I thought we were okay. But it's just one of those situations where you really, really, really want to see the Los Angeles Lakers just know the opponent better and just have a better plan for defending 3-point shooters. Because when you give up like 17 3-point shots, yeah, it's hard to win in any game. So that's exactly what we did there. The turnovers were fine. We only had 11 turnovers as a team. I thought that was pretty good. Got out in the fast break. I think we doubled their fast break points, so that's pretty good. But, it's just a matter of them getting a lot of shots up and hitting a lot of them. The efficiency of the Utah Jazz shooting the ball, we could not overcome that. And I just thought that we just didn't do enough to match up with them early on, and they were able to keep the lead. Also, you got to give credit to a guy like Jordan Clarkson, who really just came in with killer instinct. It's one of those things where it's like you're dealing with a lot with that team already, with their starters and everybody going crazy with Markkanen and Olynyk and Sexton and Conley. All these guys are going off. You got Vanderbilt jumping around, blocking shots, doing all kinds of stuff, rebounding. They just throw a lot at you. Kessler blocking shots, also getting scores up there for himself. THT and his athleticism. And then they throw Clarkson in the mix after you've dealt with all of that. Now you got Clarkson coming in playing like an all-star, making plays for himself and others. They're a real team. They're a real team. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. It's just one of those situations where it's like, I don't imagine that Danny Ainge wants this team to play this well all season long, because they will not get Victor Wembanyama if they make the playoffs, obviously. So I don't know what they're gonna do. I would feel very, very lost if I were Utah front office right now. I wouldn't know exactly what to do, because if you blow this team up, these fans are gonna go crazy. If you don't get Wembanyama, all of this was for naught. And this team, as good as they are, and they look good, they are nowhere near good enough to pass up on Victor Wembanyama to see them make the playoffs. Absolutely not. But then again, if you're the worst team in the world, it doesn't mean you're going to get them. For all I know, they get them anyway playing like this. So who knows, man. All I know is the Utah Jazz beat us fair and square tonight. It wasn't because the Los Angeles Lakers played particularly poorly. It was because they were just able to score a lot. They did a lot, and the refs helped. I'm not going to front. We were a little upset with the officials tonight. Just didn't have a lot of falling our way. We thought we took some contact here and there. We thought some guys had some late calls out there. Definitely some late calls. So, this is one of the ones where the refs will probably love to kind of take a look at this one and maybe improve themselves, because this wasn't the greatest for them, in my humblest opinion. Overall, the Los Angeles Lakers put on an okay show. I'm not going to sit here and kill them for losing this particular game, even though we want to see them play better, because the incremental improvements that I want to see, I'm okay with. You keep your turnovers down. I'm more pleased with our turnovers tonight than I was in the last game we won. I'm more pleased with the way we shot the three than I was in the last game we won. You see what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I'm looking at our team. It's like, how are we getting better in certain areas? Because I think that's more of a benchmark for what we can control. A lot of times we look at things that we can't control. We lend ourselves to be happy about things that are outside of our control. We get a great shot by Matt Ryan in the last game that sends us into overtime. Got lucky there. 9 out of 10 times the shot's probably not going to fall. But if you're leaning on happiness based on that level of success, I think you're measuring what you're doing the wrong way. This is how we want to measure it. Did we get better at various different categories and increasing our overall tendencies in those categories? Once you do that, you control yourself, and the more you can control yourself, the more you can control your destiny. So I think that's what it's about. Not leaning on wins and losses. That's fool's gold, because this is the regular season. You got a lot of wins and a lot of losses. You use this as a means. You take the schedule and use it as a pace maker, so to speak, a pace creator, so that you can learn exactly what your rhythms are, your plays are, and ultimately what it is that you will find in synergy with one another. So, that's how I want us to approach it, and I think we're doing okay. The The rotations are fine. I think we're adjusting to certain things that we're seeing, um, and as a result, it throws off what we're able to do in matchups. And see, that's a strange balance, but I guess it's a good thing to try to sort through now because um, you want to know your personnel. You want to know how guys react to certain things by later. I guess you could say by February, you want to know some of the stuff that you're testing and trying to figure out right now. So I get what Darvin's doing. Um, it's like, okay, he didn't play Kendrick Nunn, didn't play Damian Jones until garbage time. Those guys were like literally in regular rotation last week. So he's still trying to figure out how best to go about using the rotation. I have no problem with that. Those are logical things that he did there. Um, so I'm just assessing what I'm seeing. I'm fine. I think all in all, I just think we're gonna have to recalibrate and use this game as a means of learning where we need to improve defending the perimeter. And I'm trying to figure out which one of those teams had 62 or 63 points in the paint. I believe it was us. I think we scored very well in their paint, but I just don't remember which side of the stats I was looking at there. But one of those teams had a really, really interesting paint night, and that's an important point that I would love to be able to have more information on. But the bottom line is, the Los Angeles Lakers want to control the paint. We love how Russell Westbrook was continuing to attack. We love how LeBron James was trying to attack and get in contact, even though those calls weren't calling. Wenyen Gabriel, again, in the first half, I just like what I saw there. Juan Toscano-Anderson was active. He plays hard, man. We just want to see him have some success out there. It gets a little unfortunate when you're working hard, but it's not coming to production. But I like what I see from Juan. He really, really throws himself around out there, rebounds the ball. You know what I mean? We just got to get him in shape, because obviously he's been fighting back from injury like a lot of our guys. So I'm still high on Juan. I just think we need to continue to work him in practice and put in positions to do what it is that he does well, figure out what those things are. Still got to learn about these players. So, yeah, man. All in all, this loss, you're gonna definitely talk about defense. That's what it is. It's just the Lakers are a good defensive team who had a bad defensive night. And give credit to the Utah Jazz. They controlled things. They really did. Their coach did a fantastic job putting good rotations on the floor, taking advantage of what he could. They moved the ball around. They moved their bodies around a lot and just attacked us in very unorthodox ways. That's what I noticed. It ran good plays. What can I say? A good team is going to be a good team. This is a good unit of basketball over there in Utah. And as they continue to play throughout the season, if they don't run into injuries, I'm curious to see how their ebbs and flows go. Are they going to continue to play well, or will they come down to earth? So we'll see them in a few days. In fact, Monday we have a game against this team in Utah, but there will be a game in between now and then, and that will be on Sunday versus the red-hot Cleveland Cavaliers, who won their 7th straight game today. So obviously we're in for a handful against that very, very talented and long team. They are very tall there, so matching up is important, obviously. So yeah, man, this game, burn the tape, I guess. Well, no, you don't burn this one. You actually want to study this one very well. I thought we did a few things well, but when you look at the rebounding total, I think we had like 42 as opposed to like 54 in the last game. If we up our rebounding total in this particular game, I think we have a better shot at winning the game. But here's the thing. You gotta adjust that by understanding how much the Utah Jazz made shots. So it wasn't too many rebounds to get. So that also plays a part into the situation. So yeah, man. I don't know. Were there any key moments about this game? I'm trying to think if there was anything key. A couple lobs, couple dunks here and there. Obviously, you want to talk about the officials and LeBron James's foot. The officials just missing calls and Bron being unhappy about it pretty much the majority of the night. But yeah, man, Laker loss. I feel like our team is doing okay though. We are 2-6, and for a team that started off 5 straight losses, that's not a bad thing at all. So it's gonna get tough. We do have a tough schedule ahead, and I'd imagine we'll be seeing Thomas Bryant and Dennis Schroeder sometime in the upcoming schedule over the next 4 games. So as we do, hopefully we can work them into the equation responsibly without having to throw off some of the things that we're doing right now that are working for ourselves. So, we do welcome those guys in. That we definitely think Dennis Schroeder can help us quite a bit, and so could Thomas Bryant with that center position there. So that's what it is, man. That's where my head's at. I'm not too upset. And one would think I'd be upset, but no, we this was a game that I don't know that we would have won even if we would have done certain things correctly. Utah was on fire, and they stayed on fire, and they took their hands and took their own destiny into their own hands. So I just want to give them all the credit, from the top man all the way down to the bottom, for this to be a road game and a young team that just was recently put together. You got to give them credit. Guys like Mark Conley and Jordan Clarkson. They got that team really, really doing good things in terms of making guys better. Those are guys who are making plays for their team, and ultimately that's not, speaking of JC, that's not really his game. When you look back in the past, he was never an assist guy, but when he's on the floor, the other guys are just hitting shots, and he's helping that. So, you look at the Utah Jazz and you wonder if the Lakers are going to make a trade with the Utah Jazz. I think that's what I'm leading up to. It's like you look at some of these players and they came in their building and they lit us up. And we got those 2 picks, and it's like, all right, those pieces are probably better used in a win-now situation, and we need, to be winning, obviously, for our circumstance. So, with Kyrie's situation as it is, and it looks like he's probably going to be untradeable from here on out, I don't think the Lakers would be willing to offer up any picks for him anymore. I don't think that that's even logical at this point. If we're going to acquire him, I'd imagine we'd still be willing to throw in Russell Westbrook contract, but I don't even know if the Lakers would be willing to even look in his direction based on the circumstances right now. But what I can say is, if you get your feelings completely out of the situation and you just look at the piece, he's at a massive discount if he becomes a free agent. So I think it would make all the sense in the world to assess what he can do for the basketball team. And if he becomes a free agent, bringing him in, regardless of the circumstance, I think that makes a lot of basketball sense, since we want this player anyway. So that's something I'm thinking about. I don't know what the Lakers would be willing to do. I don't know how the fans would take to him at this point. I don't know how people, it's a lot with that conversation. But what I can say is, Kyrie Irving at a discount could equal a championship if you add the right things to that. So that's the reality of it. We get him at like a smaller amount, and look out. That's all I can say. So we're a long way away from that. I don't know if the Brooklyn Nets would even be willing to trade him, or waive him. But right now, with the suspension being as it is, it's going to be interesting. We do play them next week. In fact, I believe that's the 4th game on the schedule ahead. Now he's suspended for 5 games, so I don't know if he would actually play for that game. I think that would be the 5th game he's suspended. So, and that's a minimum of 5, by the way. He has to do some things in order to get back on the court. So, yeah, we're a long way away from that, but I'm not upset if he doesn't play our game, because obviously we're going to benefit from him not being out there. So that's something. Hopefully he will not be available for that one. So it is what it is, man. Los Angeles Lakers do not win tonight, though. Only scored 116 points, and it was not enough. At the end of the day, Lauri Markkanen is probably going to be an all-star this year. That's really the bottom line. I think there's a good chance he's going to make his first all-star team. We've reached the Kobe minute, you guys. That's pretty much what I got, man. Lakers play a midday game on Sunday, 12:30. So, of course, we will be ready for that action and probably have a little more on this game as well. So, that's what I got. BDO44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.